In case you haven't heard of the BILD EXPO sponsored by B&H that just happened in New York City, it's a two-day bonanza for photographers, actors, creators, and everyone in between. They had panels by some of the top creators, and I got to see some of them. I saw this presentation on social media for filmmakers and actors, and it was right up my alley. If you're like me and sometimes get worn out by social media or second guess, should I post this or should I post that when you're trying to build your following as an actor, you're probably going to really like this. It was led by Kira and Brendan Sweeney, who are founders of a company called Lost Objects, which is a company that specializes in demystifying the social media process for filmmakers. They go through examples of past clients, what worked, tips and tricks for Instagram, and a bunch of other practical ideas that you can use right now. Let me know in the comments what you think. Enjoy!
And every single day there's over 122 million viewers on YouTube. There's over 145 million on LinkedIn. And then on TikTok in the US, it's 122 million every single day. So that's like, if we do the math, almost half of the world's population is using social media every single day. And it's just important to know how to harness it. So the platforms that I think are really important for filmmakers and creatives are Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and YouTube, as we said.
YouTube has grown so much. We've seen what the last 10 years have brought YouTube. I used to be on Netflix, HBO Max, whatever you want to call it since they can't figure out their name. But YouTube is where I am most of my time now, whether it's watching Doug DeMira, which I know there's a lot of car enthusiasts probably in here, whether it's watching the next big creator breaking down the FX2, YouTube just offers so much, and it's the new platform. We've all seen the numbers, how it is beating the traditional Hollywood system, and that just gets me excited because it is a time where we no longer have to be gatekept. We can now be enabled to create content. But like you're saying, we're going to mainly focus on Instagram because for us, it's just an amazing place to start, and I think it's all about taking those first steps.
Name and your last name, or your first name, middle name, last name, right? How many times are you like, oh yeah, I think I remember this person's name, and you try to find them? You can't find them because their username is, I'll use Brendan's example, his Instagram handle is Bren Pancake. Now, I
love pancakes, griddle items, everyone gets it.
So, we've had a little, he knows he needs to change it, you know, I can only do so much, but anyway, so basically, the good news is he wrote his name in the actual bio, so you guys know, like, you could say, like, where it says your name, Brendan Sweeney, so he's still searchable, but it's like, just do your first name, underscore last name, first name, period, last name, first name, middle name, last name. There's so many variations you can do to just make yourself searchable, so that's a big one for me. If you don't currently have your username searchable, definitely worth making it searchable. Your bio. So this is a really also important thing. You only have 150 characters, right? Very limiting, and you want to try to tell as much about yourself as possible. So a pro tip that is right here is the creator account. If everyone, I highly recommend to have a creator account. You don't need to be a creator. You just want to have this so that you can actually tag, like you can see here, it says education, right, under Filmmakers Academy. Under my Instagram, it says actor. You can actually tag your profession if you have a creator account, and then guess what? That saves you with the 150 characters, so you don't have to have cinematographer or director of photography take all of those characters in your bio, and it makes it much more searchable, and if someone searches DP or cinematographer, you can actually pop up because you tagged that in your bio. Pronounced Kira, not Kyra, and like with the phonetics and everything, which is super fun. And you could just do fun little facts. And the biggest thing that is the other most important thing is having your location. I don't know about you guys, but there's so many times where whether you're a photographer or filmmaker, you're seeing photos all over the world and you're like, oh, but I think this person lives in LA. I really want to shoot with them. You message them, you're like, hey, like I would love to shoot with you. I see you're in LA. Oh, sorry, I actually live in Chicago. And then it's like, oh, shoot, right? So it like definitely put your location in the bio. It can be as simple as NYC, LA, you know, you can really make it tight to fit within the bio. And I also recommend using tools like ChatGPT to say, hey, I only have 150 characters in this bio. Can you please like try to articulate all of the things and give me a few different options that are authentic to me? Maybe you don't have as many emojis, etc. And then, yeah, so that's what I really recommend for bio. I'll let you take it away with profile.
with the bio that I don't feel like a lot of people do is we're all aspiring to enter into our next chapter, and something that you can put in your last line here, say you're an editor but you really want to be a director, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I'm an editor right now, and that's what your profile can mainly reflect. But if you want to go somewhere, this is how you tell your audience or those that you're trying to connect with, yeah, I might just be editing right now, but I really have this amazing feature script, and I want to take that to the next level when the opportunity presents itself. Set yourself up for success and be honest with who you are, but also project to where you want to go. And that's just an amazing next step to be able to create those connections. So taking that now to the profile picture, this is another thing that Kira has always beaten me over the head because I always love to do some artistic photo, and there's nothing wrong with that. But first starting out, where you want people to recognize who you are, use something that's discernible. People want to see your face because if you're at a convention, amazing one like this, you want to be able, imagine I just fall through the floor. You want to be able to stand out in the crowd and make those connections. This is all about networking, and I want to be able to connect with some of you. But if I had something that shows the back of my head, you guys are going to pass by, and vice versa. So always consider that. And if you're a business, let's say that you own a grip truck company, maybe you have a logo that's appropriate. You can see FA for Filmmakers Academy, but maybe you don't have a logo yet. Put your grip truck up there. Show a C-stand, something that's emblematic of your company.
It's like cleaning out the basement, the attic, whatever. There's nothing more that I can't stand when it is so cluttered and there's too many highlights. In my opinion, keeping it short, simple, and to the point is key, right? You don't want to have people scrolling, and I've also seen when people highlight maybe one or two things from like 5 years ago, and the photo itself is like a random screen grab that like has broken like widgets and different things on it. It's just like, we want to make this look as clean as possible, right? So I always recommend things like behind the scenes, stills, client testimonials, gear, film festivals, press, things that are very, like you could keep adding to them. Maybe you travel a lot. Instead of saying like Tokyo, Thailand, Japan, you can just say like travel, right? The more that we can keep these short and concise, the better, because the more likely people are going to go through them. And my rule of thumb is if you're not adding at least one a month to one of these, I would say don't have it at all unless it's a big like moment. Like let's say one of your films got into Tribeca, of course, keep the Tribeca highlight, right? But if it's not serving you in your career and it's just something from a long time ago, clean that up, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I'll say one thing that's great about highlights is start to use your brain when you think of the hard and fast UX, UI. If you have 7 slots, but your 8th, 9th, and 10th are your best story highlights, you got to move those to the front because not everyone's going to be tapping this area right here to find your best project selects or whatever it might be. So always consider that you can't control where the user or the audience member is going to land. Curation is key, and this is an amazing place to continue to keep curated.
Absolutely. And next, we're going to go ahead into pinned post strategy. So also, recent update. As of yesterday, Instagram has now declared a new update that you can reorganize your grid order. That is super exciting, right? I know.
That's butter, everybody.
I know, I love that. Yeah, so I mean, I know for Filmmakers Academy, the amount of times we've had to post like back-to-back posters that just do not look good next to each other on the grid, and I'm like, oh man, but you just gotta keep it, you can't hide it. Now you're able to rearrange your grid. I think you have to update it to the latest one. You hold down on like the photo from the grid perspective, and then you can click reorder grid and move things around. So this is a game changer. You can see how much things changed. Didn't even have time to slap this on the slide because it was yesterday. So pinned post, it's amazing. You have 3 options. I think the 3 that you should do, if you're a photographer, have your like portfolio or some stills that you're really proud of to showcase your work. If you're a filmmaker, have your reel. That is so amazing. People immediately land. They get to see what you do, your work. And on top of that, if you have a company, if you are a filmmaker, photographer, who are you? What is your company? I know for Filmmakers Academy, we always heard, what is Filmmakers Academy? So I literally made a post called, what is Filmmakers Academy? And it's a 10 to 12 carousel slide breaking it down, and that's pinned. So anyone that lands on FA immediately can go and learn about it. If you are your own business, having a pinned post of you in action, like maybe you're behind a camera, and then having the description be like, hey, my name is so-and-so, and yeah, this is what I'm doing. I'm super proud of like being an actor. I've been in this industry for X amount of time, and just telling your story, because you'd be surprised how many people want to know more about you, right? So that is my pinned post overview. And then going to the link in bio. This is an amazing tool. I really don't love when people have, like, I think they allow you up to 3 links and you just see a link and then +2 for people that don't have a link in bio and they're just putting it. And it just looks, in my opinion, just not the best. And like to have to click the +2 to then see, you always have to look at it as like the user's perspective. Like I always say the best way to look at your profile is pretend you don't know who you are. Try to find you, try to search you, try to like look into it, and then immediately see like, oh wow, look at all of this. So there's a lot of amazing link like hub options. The one I recommend that is free to get started is Linktree. You could have your reel, your website, you could have press, a lot of amazing things immediately embedded there. So people just have to click once and can immediately see everything that you want to show them, right? Beacons is an amazing one that we use for Filmmakers Academy. It's called Beacons AI. It's more of a paid one, but it's great for content creators. Like I know with Filmmakers Academy, we actually sell digital products through Beacons AI, and it's very successful. And you could also grow an email list. Like you could do first name, last name, email, and even ask for a phone number and start to grow an audience. So that one, I think it's like $10 a month. So if you really want to start to build, you know, your creator economy business.
Sell things that people want, digital downloads.
Mm-hmm. That's a really amazing one. And then the last one we're going to talk about is Komi.io. This one is like one that a lot of celebrities use. It's really great as well. It's paid, and it's just great for, again, content creators and monetization. So definitely recommend using link in bios. It's just super easy, and there's a lot of free resources.
Yeah. Content.
Okay. Yes.
Woo, content. We love that word.
This is the exciting part. Okay. So after being managing social media now professionally for 5 years and really studying it for filmmakers and creators, these are the main pillars that I've really seen, especially for the cinematography end, work time and time again. So I hope this is an easy thing that everyone has in this room, which is stills from your work, right? I really hope if you're a photographer, a cinematographer, I don't think it's the hardest thing for you guys to grab screen grabs, to have your photos, and just make a carousel, right? You get to showcase your creativity, your technical expertise. It looks beautiful. Maybe even do some collab posts with your fellow crew members and creatives. The next is
behind the scenes. We all know the importance of being able to show what it took to make those projects, whether it's a short film, a commercial, a photo shoot. People want to see what it took. This is how you cultivate an audience. And let's look at how traditional filmmaking used to be so good at getting us as audience members to go watch the movies. The days of vignettes, DVD featurettes. We all loved that. That's what inspired us to be here, to want to be an artist. BTS stills, videos, it's the same thing. You want people to be connected with your final project. In my perspective, that's the best way to do it because they see you as the artist. Maybe it's you holding a camera, maybe it's you directing, maybe it's you taking a still, or it's your crew. And this is a place where you can tag your friends, loop them in, show the process. And that, in my opinion, is going to leverage and then bring them to watch the final piece or look at the final photos, whatever it might be. And it's key. Always be trying to get BTS because between this and educational content, which Kira will talk about, these two are like fire.
Oh yeah, behind the scenes and educational content are hands down the most successful. And I always say it is worth either asking a friend to take behind the scenes of you who's actually, like, that you feel strongly is talented at taking behind the scenes content. Highly recommend, or hiring someone, because it will pay off so much when you have that project. You're ready to showcase it. I know the amount of times we've been in the situation of like, oh man, we really didn't have a lot of behind the scenes. We should have had someone. That's not something you want to have happen, right? Educational content, this is hands down the most like saved, shared, and then it bumps in the algorithm. I love making stuff for Filmmakers Academy that like is all breaking down lighting things or doing all of that, and they go crazy every single time. And then talking about lighting setup carousels, same exact thing. If you guys are photographers in a studio, you can easily show your lighting schematic of like how you lit the model, right? You can do the split screen of the shot mixed with how you lit. Same with all the cinematography stuff that we do. I know for a lot of like Shane's content, I'll take a still and then or from his work and I'll say, hey, can you send me the schematic for the scene? It's just amazing and it's very educational for people and they love it. And then lastly, split screen videos. This is awesome for like, maybe it's a color grade that you show the log and then the final, or maybe it's the before and the after. Maybe it's like a crazy behind the scenes thing that you did DIY to show the behind the scenes and the final shot. People love that.
Yeah, and one thing I want to say with educational content, and this goes back to what I said originally, not everyone is a Shane Hurlbut ASC. Some of you are, and that's amazing, but if you're not, that's okay. If you don't like being in front of the camera, there is a ton of ways to do educational content, and it is totally fine to not be that type of person. I just want to remind everyone, it's really easy to get caught up in the snowstorm. The storm of social media and wanting to be like other people. But be authentic to you, and this is just kind of a framework for so many different ways to create content, but don't ever feel like you have to do educational or that you have to do lighting setups. If that's not your strong suit, that is okay.
Yes. Okay, now you can see how quick social media changes. It is not reels under 90 seconds anymore. It is now reels that are 3 minutes and under. So thank God they increased the amount of time. So we have more time to show them things and more time to hopefully get discovered, right? And one really quick thing, I don't know if anyone's dealt with this, but I just like to say this because, like, for example, we like to post videos that are sometimes over 3 minutes, over 5 minutes, definitely was over 90 seconds. If you post that as a reel, it will cut your video at the reel length. So if you've ever posted something and it cut and you're like, what the heck? It's because of the reel length. So now it's up to 3 minutes, but if you have a video that is longer than 3 minutes, post it as a post, not a reel, because it'll cut it. It's very frustrating. I've had to deal with that before. So reels, the most powerful way, as we said, single post. This is the good old-fashioned way, how Instagram started, right? Especially now that we have 4:5 as the aspect ratio, especially for the grid and everything. I think a single post is not as optimized as carousels now. Carousels, if you use carousels and add music, you actually are able to be discoverable in the Reels tab. I've searched for things and thought it was a reel, and it's a carousel that's showing up in the Reels tab. So carousels and reels are like neck and neck for being the most amazing way to get discovered, right? Or to have your content just be successful. But a single post, a lot of times I see for DPs, if they're shooting something, they'll just take a photo of the slate, right? And just post the slate. And that gets so much engagement because people see, oh wow, they're shooting this upcoming film. So that's what I would say for single post. Carousels, do yourself a favor, make sure to add music. Again, if you have a creator account, you don't have to use licensed music. You can use trending audio and a bunch of awesome songs. That allows you to go in the Reels tab, so that's super amazing. And you can do up to 20 slides now. So you could do a still from your work, mixed with behind the scenes, mixed with maybe a 1-minute clip from your project, and it's really amazing. And then lastly, I'll let Brendan talk about stories because he's really amazing at stories. So go for it.
Yeah, I love stories because that's the thing that connects people. Someone in real time, we all know that they last for 24 hours. And to be honest, that's the first thing that I'm always clicking on when I go onto Instagram because I want to see my colleagues, my friends, my families, people I just met, what they're up to, what their latest projects are, where they are in the world. And stories is kind of like the top of funnel. Let's say you do any of these. Make sure to send it to stories, and we're going to talk about that in the next slide here. But stories is just a great way to engage authentically, and to me, it's kind of the soul of just posting. Sure, you want to get the likes and the engagement everywhere else, but I feel like stories is just really that window into your life, and it's just a great way to express yourself, maybe outside of the typical curation that you would do there. There's so many fun widgets, and one of the main great reasons with stories, it is a place where you can put a link. Maybe you just dropped a new project and it's only on Vimeo and you're able to do a carousel post of the BTS and the stills. Throw that up, obviously, on stories and put the link to the project. And that's how you're getting people into your funnel, being able to watch the project. Maybe it's a new incentive, like you're dropping a LUT pack. Stories, to me, is just an awesome and engaging way to connect with your audience.
And it's the only free way to put a link without having your link in bio, right? If you want to have a link with your post, you have to boost the post. You have to put ad spend behind it or the reel. So this is the #1 free way to get people to go somewhere, whether it's to your site, to see the project, or to sign up for an event. The other thing is sometimes stories, like let's just say there aren't like events or things that you want to post as a post, but you love it for a story, like the event we had last night. It was a lot of awesome stories just to let people know where we were and how fun the event was, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now you have the stuff, you have the content. How do we get the most engagement for you? So I believe captions are very underutilized. You have up to 2,200 characters. Use them. I think it's really awesome to tell a story. I know I read the captions. I know a really popular form of content that's been happening recently that we've done with Legacy Grip has been just a reel with like text on it saying, these are like, this is the way, the 8 steps to build a softbox. And then it says, read the caption. So instead of putting it on the reel, which is a lot more work, we've done that as well. It does take more time. It is a lot more tedious. You could easily, within like a minute, have a cool video that you just put text over and say, read the caption, and then all the work that you're doing is just in the caption, right? So it's really cool. You have 2,200 characters. You could really do step by step. So I think that is a really awesome thing. Hashtags, we'll get into this. Hashtags, the CEO of Instagram is like, oh, you don't need them anymore as much. And listen, I don't know. I like them. I've always thought that they categorize your content. I've seen from analytics that like, oh, people discovered our content because of the hashtag cinematography. Now, I don't think you need to go crazy and use all 30, but I think doing hashtag film, filmmaker, or photography, photographer, and then maybe you have a very specific post like day interior, like lighting, and you could do hashtag day interior or hashtag outdoor park or whatever that's a little more specific to the actual image or video. But yeah, take it as you will. Like I said, I've been doing this for 5 years. I've seen the analytics. I still think it's important. You don't have to go crazy with them like you kind of used to, but people do follow hashtags. So you are actually able to follow a hashtag. Okay, completely changed the game since it landed is collaborations. This is single-handedly the most important tool to get discovered and allows you to tap directly into other people's following. I know with Filmmakers Academy, we did the color
With
Shot Deck, the color theory, palettes series, and that has single-handedly. One day, I was like, okay, I'm ready to invite Shot Deck. We work with them all the time, but then something was like, you know what? Let's just invite these 2 other accounts. I've never talked to them. They look cool. They have a lot of followers. Oh, let's just see what happens. They both accepted. The post got 1 million views, has like 100,000 likes, and we immediately gained 2,000 followers. So that was just from sending an invite. You can send up to 5 collaboration invites per post. You can now also, if you forgot, it used to be that you have to delete the whole post and do it again to re-invite somebody. Thank God they fixed this. And now if you forget, you can immediately click edit and then go and add a collaborator. If you, guys, sometimes this is the thing. You don't know who's going to accept it, right? If you have good content, invite the people, invite the companies, because half the time they either want to see the products that you're using, they want to see, like if you have fellow crew members, maybe it's amazing still images in the grip and the gaffer, you want to invite them to collab to also showcase like, hey, they helped us with this and they accept it, and then all of a sudden you're getting new followers and opportunities. So definitely amazing.
Yeah, collaborator is just a great way. Even if you have your AC or whoever it is, you're a cinematographer, invite your team to be a part of it, build your community, help other people get an audience. If you have a bigger audience, this is a great way to just help others in this space, and that's what it's all about for us. And like Kira said, you never know who's going to accept, so if you did something for Insta360, shoot them a collab, and you might be one of the lucky ones to get that exception.
Absolutely, and it can change the game. Like, we helped grow Lost Objects following by literally collabing on the story palette series that I create, and that's how we grew 2,000 followers by just collabing on a few of those, which was amazing.
Yeah.
And we already kind of talked about this. Anything that you post, put it to your story so people can physically click from your story and go see and engage with the post.
Yeah, stories are great. I love stories. You guys get it.
Okay, so these are the newer tools that they've put into place within like the caption area, which is adding a poll. This is amazing, you guys. Polls are fun. I don't know about you guys. I always love clicking on polls, especially on stories. I think they're really fun. So you could say, like, it's again, limited character amount, and I think there's only 4 choices that you could put. But you could say which, like, slide is your favorite shot, and you could say slide 1, slide 2, slide 3, slide 4, and you could see people will vote. They'll just naturally engage because it's a fun thing. You want to see, oh wow, 86% of the people love slide 2, right? It's just a fun thing, and it helps bump the algorithm. People see, like, the algorithm sees that people are engaging with it. The one thing I will be very careful to say this, if you make a typo, unfortunately, you cannot fix it. So you have to delete the entire post and repost it. So that's one thing that Instagram does, is like the same thing that I mentioned with the collaborators, is sometimes they roll out new features, but then don't let you fix them until like months later. So anyway, it's still not able to edit a post poll, so just be very mindful. And then the post prompt is just like a custom prompt that appears at the top of the comments. So you could just say, like, you know, super grateful for this opportunity, or something that you just want to appear at the top of the comments for people to look at, and or say, hey guys, what are your thoughts on this, right? And then people can comment and really start engaging. Again, you can't edit that, so just be really careful to not have a typo.
And these are the type of things that you're going to curate, and don't be upset if your polls don't work right away. Maybe you do some Filmmaker Friday type post, and just be consistent with it, and we'll slowly gain traction as your audience learns the patterns in which you're trying to like engage with them. So it takes time, and like everything, don't be chasing the engagement, the likes, getting someone to tap yes or no. It's always about do it for yourself first, see what your audience likes, and then build from there.
Absolutely. Okay, guys, so I know everyone was really overwhelmed about social media in the beginning, so I want to help us plan 3 posts that you could very easily achieve today, okay? So the first one is showcasing your work, like I said. This is either doing still images in a carousel, a single still, or, I mean, it could even be a reel, right? But this is something that is super simple. I hope everyone in this room either is a photographer, filmmaker, creative that has stuff that you want to show. So this is very simple. Just take screen grabs. Maybe it's your own personal photography. Put it in a carousel. Come up with a caption. Get it out the door.
And a rule of thumb too, I will say, and we'll see this in a case study that we're going to show, is just start gathering everything, BTS. The more that you have in your bank ready to deploy, obviously, the better it is, and easier it is like that it will be to make some of this stuff.
Absolutely. So this one, okay, people love seeing you in action. Some of our clients that are like personal accounts, right? Like they're operators, DPs, their most engaged content is photos of them in action, whether they're with a camera, whether they have a light meter. That is the most successful because people just love seeing you do what you love, right? So this is a really easy way. If you have great behind the scenes, if you have, you know, maybe you ask your AC if you're on set, or somebody, like if you're a photographer and you're in the session and you can ask maybe a photo assist, hey, can you please just take some shots of me like while I'm here, and do that. Is totally amazing and totally fine if they're cool with it, because it just gets you great shots that are going to engage, that you can send, have as your new profile photo, or just have as a really amazing, engaging post.
Yep.
All right, so this one is awesome. I know that we have some colorists in the audience, so this is a great way to have. So if you have your log image, your final, something you want to show, people love seeing before and after split screens. Maybe it's a oneer, and maybe you show a minute of the oneer on top and then the behind the scenes on the bottom. If you're doing a carousel, something really important to note, only 1 minute of video can be posted in a carousel. So just be mindful of that. If you're doing a reel, it could be up to 3 minutes, and then as a post it could be, I think it's up to 25 minutes or something of video, or even 60 minutes. I need to do some research on that. But anyway, it's very long. So yeah, I would say this is amazing just to show people love behind the scenes. They love before and afters. If you're on set in the process of getting a shot and maybe the lighting does not look great, that's amazing. Take a photo, because you're gonna have the after to show how you went from when it looked really bad to what you ended up with. And people love that. It's harder to make something that you finally got to that looks amazing look bad. So while it looks bad, capture that, you know what I mean? And you could even use a story of like, this is what it was, I mean, in the caption, this is what it was looking like. And thank goodness my gaffer had the idea, right? And then it just becomes a part of the story.
Yeah, and these are just ideas for what you can do. There's so many different flavors and way to dress up these posts. But Kira, something I know that we all saw the 1x1 to 4x5 shift of your grid, but recently they even changed that where now you can even do a couple of different aspect ratios, right?
Yes.
For a post.
Yes, you could still keep 1:1 if you want. Not on the grid view, but in the post, you could like size it. It's a little like square button. You could click and it could be 1:1 or 4x5 or the 16:9.
Yeah, and that's new. That's something that just rolled out, I believe, the other day.
Yeah, that's another. Oh, and guys, I really highly recommend you following the account Creators on Instagram. That is Instagram's account that they roll out and put all of the new updates for their creators. And like we said, even if you're not a creator, you're using this tool, and this tool is a tool that can work for you. You want to understand the tool. You want to understand everything that's coming out. So definitely recommend following that account. And then bonus, this is a bonus post, everybody, and it is your reel. I think a lot of people who are filmmakers in here hopefully have a reel or are working on a reel. I know I'm an actor, we gotta have a reel or else there's nothing happening, right? So it's like you gotta have that. So I highly recommend, this is an example of my Instagram. It says, you know, Kira Grace acting reel, and it's pinned. So people immediately are like, ooh, I can watch it. And then I made everyone flip their phone because I don't want to mess up the aspect ratio. I want everyone to enjoy it as it was intended and as it was shot. So it's really awesome. If you're a cinematographer especially, you want to be able to show the full shot. So I just always suggest having them flip it. It's fun, it's different. If people start watching something, they see it sideways, they're going to flip it. And I think it's really interesting. So yeah.
Amazing. So let's talk a little bit about a case study, Legacy Grip. You might have seen him, Brendan Reel, a great friend of mine. He's been in the industry for a long time, local lady. Legacy Grip is something that we took over about 2 years ago, and it's been an amazing experience. And a lot of this is honestly testament to Kira's kind of formula and what she's taken you through. But break down how this all goes, Kira.
Yeah, so we took his account over. He had only 400 followers when we first started with him, and now I think it's even increased to like, I think it's at now 35,000 since we've made this this presentation. So this has been all organic, no paid anything, and he's an amazing key grip who gets such great assets behind the scenes. And yes, a lot of things we hear about, and I will address this, is like, oh, NDAs. Okay. That's a big thing. Yes, we understand. But there are very strategic things you can do without showing something that you're going to get in trouble for. So I say, okay, you're on a shoot with an NDA. You have a truck. Rig your truck. Literally put your iPhone up there, make a time lapse of you guys bringing all the carts in and the camera carts, or loading everything in, or before you're even on the set. If you're like building a massive like softbox, show that. Like rig it. Have a time lapse. Time lapses for Legacy Grip have been very, very successful, and like 10 terms grips, no, super successful. So yes, this is phase one. We were like, what's gonna work for Legacy Grip? So we tested a lot of different things. We found what worked. So the first post we did was just a very simple compilation reel of just a bunch of behind the scenes from Brendan Reel's projects and putting them together, and people loved it. So then we were like, okay, let's take it further. This split screen, this one was like our first viral video. So it basically is like, you can see like an old truck, like or a car, the hydraulics that goes like crazy up and down, right? He rigged like a film camera to it. You can't really see it in here. It's kind of like on the edge there. And we put the split screen with the final shot, and people just went berserk because you just see like this camera being completely just like jolted, but the shot looks awesome and it's secure and it's stable and it's safe. So this is a testament to the split screen format. And then we did some music driven behind the scenes videos like we talked about. And yeah, this was kind of like our first thing. The second phase was doubling down on what works in scaling engagement. So Brendan went to go shoot in Reel's truck, like, hey, show me how you organize like your grip truck. Next thing you know, 50,000 views, thousands of likes, people commenting, oh my goodness, this was so amazing. Thank you for showing how you organize things. It was awesome. So Brendan Reel really wanted to lean into educational content, and that is what's been the biggest testament today to his stuff. And then this was like a roller coaster rig breakdown that he did where he was like, all right, this is what we're doing. It was like a minute long, super successful again. So that's kind of what we saw. We saw it worked, and we started throwing more fire on it. Also, what I will say, with Brendan Reel specifically, he puts a lot of time into it. We say, hey, Reel, I have this idea. Could you just record a voiceover of this and send it to us? And he's put in as much time as we've put in. So that's something I always like to preface is we have some clients that are a lot more hands-off. They're like, hey, here's some behind the scenes. You know, we don't really want to be involved so much, just run our socials. And some posts do pretty well, but they're not getting to this level because of the engagement and the amount of investment that he's also making into it.
And I would like to add with Reel too, and I would really recommend going through his Instagram because Reel is one of these people where he's great on camera. That's not always what he wants to do, and he finds different ways to educate, whether it's through a voiceover post, showing the schematics of his builds. There's a lot of unique ways to do it, and Reel's goal was not meant to be an educator. He is a great example of being a local 80 key grip first, focusing on that first, and the things that he has in his kit. Insta360, everyone has an iPhone, there's no reason you can't be using that, but build out the stuff that enables you and the team that you might have just to be able to get a lot of assets, because to Kira's point, he just has so much, and it makes us as the management team, which not everyone's going to have the luxury of having, but even if you are your own management team, the more assets, the better in different ways, and an Insta360 is honestly an amazing tool just for that.
And they're called like the Meta glasses, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those glasses, I know they're only recording capabilities are like up to a minute, but still think about you're wearing those glasses, they have cameras, and think about the POV shots you can get of grabbing like, you know, speed rail and moving it and all these things. It's like a whole other level of like cutting together different things. So then the phase 3 was just collaboration. We started collabing with like indie filmmakers. Grip Rigs is a massive account. It has like 300,000 followers or more. And people started accepting, and this led to an Aperture collaboration, which was a paid partnership that he got to be a part of, which was amazing. And the 10 grip terms you need to know collabed with Filmmakers Academy because that's educational. It would benefit us as well. Got so many more views and engagement, and it was crazy to see that like our first, you know, collab that we sent indie filmmakers got like 14,000 likes, right? So it's just like super amazing to leverage the collaboration opportunities, like we said.
I know we're coming to our final moments before people want to early change out for the next event, but...
Yes, so this is testing, consistency, strong assets, and industry engagement. These are the keys that we really say is the keys to like being successful. Sorry, I don't want to like have a crazy face while everyone's taking photos. Okay, so yeah, these are definitely the recipe for success with Legacy Grip. And yeah, I think
biggest one is consistency. Everyone, consistency. Can we all say consistency? Because I feel like this is one that we all need to do, and we all need a little bit of consistency in our life.
Discipline and consistency. 100%. If you can only start with one post a week, commit to that one post a week, and do it consistently for 4 weeks. You got 4 posts. We always recommend 3 times a week. Brendan, next slide before we get kicked off. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, he's gonna come on stage. Yeah. And hear it.
And thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe for more. I have more events from Build that I'm going to post, and see you next time.